Good evening. This is the regular meeting of the first meeting of 2024 of January 2nd. And we are going to start with the swearing in of our new city council members. And first is the Honorable Letitia Wilkins.
Good evening. So I'll actually have Ms. Wilkins and Jeff and Mary all stand and raise your right hand, please. And then I'll just ask you this question. You'll say, I do or I will. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Michigan, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of City Council Representative of the City of South Haven, Michigan, according to the best of your ability?
I will.
Wonderful. Your cards are in front of you. If you please sign those, and I'll pick those up at the end. And then Ms. Brown, if you'd stand and raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Michigan, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Mayor of the City of South Haven, Michigan, according to the best of your ability?
I do.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. First, I would like to recognize some of our special guests here tonight. We have former Mayor Mary Bookert, former Mayor Tim Horan, Judge Arthur Clark, Allegan County Prosecutor Myrene Cook, and former State Representative Joan Bauer. Thank you for being here. Tonight's invocation is by my dear friend, Father Bob Flickinger from St. Basil's Catholic Church.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate the new council, new mayor, and all who have made this such a beautiful city to be a part of. I chose to retire here because it was the place that I always felt was very special. So congratulations. As we gather together here tonight, we call upon the God we worship, the Spirit of life, the Spirit of love, the Spirit of community, and the Spirit of justice. We ask your blessing on the people who have been called to lead the community of South Haven, where we live, where we work, and where we play. Help them as leaders to not ask first, how do we fix this, but what do we need to learn? How might we need to change? And to whom do we need to listen? Remind them, because we all forget from time to time, especially in the noisiness of what passes for political debate today, that they are not only leaders, but also servants, and that it is their responsibility and ours to serve the common good. Remind them that no matter where we live, everyone is our neighbor, and that throughout the ages, prophets have called the leaders of the people to respect and protect the least of those among us, our children, the elderly, the poor, those who are hungry, those who have no homes, those who are ill in body, mind, and spirit, the stranger and the immigrant in our midst, those who live on the margins, those who are alone, those who are forgotten. Grant this City Council of South Haven the wisdom and courage to know and do what is right and good and true. May they speak out when it is time to speak out, listen patiently when it is time to listen. May they and we always be guided by the Spirit of justice and the Spirit of love. This we pray in humble thanks to the God of our choice. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Father Bob. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Jeff Arnold,
Here.
Mary Hasley,
Here.
Wendy Onuki,
Here.
Joe Reeser,
Here.
George Sleeper,
Here.
Letitia Wilkins,
Here.
Annie Brown.
Here. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
There's a motion to approve the agenda.
I would make a motion to amend the agenda.
Okay. What's your motion?
I would motion to amend consent agenda item 7CI to be agenda item 8A, and to amend the wording by striking the agenda item as presented and inserting in place thereof. Agenda item 8A, the city council will be asked to select a city council member to be the ex officio member of the city's planning commission for a term equal to the city council member's remaining term, and for a resolution to be presented consistent with this selection.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to Mrs. Hasley's amendment. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the motion passes. So we're moving,
7C7I to item 8A.
okay,
It's 7CI.
Sorry, 7CI.
okay, thank you. It's now time for public comment.
We got to vote on we still need to vote on the consent agenda.
Oh, thank you.
Well, we voted on the amendment, and then we have to vote, so the amendment passed, so then we have to vote to
Yes,
approve the
thank you.
amended agenda.
Yep, thank you. Okay, we are voting on the consent agenda
No,
As amended.
as amended.
but I believe we only voted to allow the amendment, so I believe we need to vote to approve the amended agenda.
Because there was already a motion and a second
Okay,
to approve the consent
okay.
agenda.
So we're voting on the motion.
Approval of the amended agenda.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Now we need to vote, because we also had the amend to approve the.
No, we did vote on the amendment, and this was the vote.
Now we need to vote to approve the
The
original.
consent agenda.
Yeah.
Got it, yes, sorry.
Is there a motion to approve the amended consent agenda?
I led with that motion, and George supported it, I think.
Okay,
Okay.
Right, before we can vote on the consent agenda, I think we do need to take public comment on items on the agenda, however.
Okay.
okay. Public comment, we're moving to public comments on items on the agenda, excluding the item scheduled for any public hearing. And you have 5 minutes. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. Clark Cooper, 305 Erie. Congratulations. There's no public agenda on that, but it was on the item. I'm kind of confused about what's going to be added as an ex aficionado to the Planning Commission. And as a Planning Commission member, I'm really confused. And are we going to put ex aficionados on every single one of the boards and commissions? And that's just my comment.
City manager, would you like to comment?
With the Planning Commission is an ex officio member that is appointed to the Planning Commission to serve as a member. They do have full voting rights, but per the Code of Ordinances, there has to be a resolution that accompanies that appointment. That is not in the packet. That would have to follow this, that would have to come at a later date, preferably at the next meeting in January.
So that would be an individual, I'm sorry, Mayor, I should address the
Nope,
mayor.
this is fine.
That would be on top of George, so we would have 2 council members?
No, by our rules, it would be just one ex officio member that is appointed to the Planning Commission.
Okay,
So a
but
total of
George
9.
would also be part of the commission as a liaison?
What is in the packet is that George Sleeper would be appointed as the planning commission ex officio.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Joe Wilkins, 8011 Indiana Street. Just a point of clarification, that last comment you made, Kate, I didn't understand that. So what was amended was to get a resolution from the council on who will be the ex officio and on the planning commission. Am I correct?
Yes, my understanding of the motion was to remove item 7C I, which is the planning commission appointment of the ex officio member, to 8A, and that is the appointment of the council's representative to the planning commission.
Whoever the council decide, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I think what I just heard, that George would be included, automatically included into the package, or it would be whoever the council decides.
So the mayor has recommended that George Sleeper be reappointed to the planning commission as the city council's ex officio member, their representative. That is, of course, a recommendation of the city council. The city council would confirm. So this being taken out of that would be the council would be discussing that. Now, moreover, it has to be solidified by resolution that has to be brought back at the next meeting.
Okay. So, all right, so there's still some process left to who
That's
would be.
correct.
Go, thank you.
Still in public comment.
Elaine Herbert, 404 North Shore Drive. I have a few comments to welcome the new commission members, but just to be clear, because that again is going around in a circle, according to the Code of Ordinances, the mayor does suggest appointments to boards and commissions, except for Planning Commission, which is done by resolution and is at the pleasure and the motion and the second and the vote of the council. So just so we're clear, it doesn't necessarily have to be Mr. Sleeper. Am I correct?
No. I did check with the city attorney on this. The mayor is definitely within her rights to make a recommendation to any of the boards and commission, including the planning commission. And in fact, that's something that we have done for the past 20 years and going back and looking at our city council it's going back to 2002. But what the city attorney did say is that a resolution does have to follow and appoint, as be part of that appointment too. So no, it's not correct that it cannot be the mayor's recommendation. That is a part of
I
it.
didn't
That
say
can be
that.
that. But what is clear is that that is to be confirmed by the city council, and there does have to be a memorialization with a resolution.
Thank you. I'd like to reclaim my time, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were asking me a question.
I was, but I
apologies. Please
do
go
need to
ahead.
reclaim my time for the things I have, so please reset the timer. Thank you. As the agenda includes the establishment of the new council, I do have a few remarks and hopes. Congratulations especially to Councilwoman Hosley, Third Ward Trust, that you will bring Robert's Rules of Order to the council procedure, reliable, equitable policy and procedure, management to city administration, city residents' vision to the forefront of city planning, and Code of Ordinance enforcement back to city administration. Thank you, Councilman Reeser, for your ongoing courageous voice for residents and showcasing data regarding STRs and the degrading effect on neighborhoods and community. Thank you, Councilwoman Wilkins, for consistently standing against gentrification and the threat STRs pose to our community of color and the desire for affordable housing for our own children and grandchildren in Ward 1. Thank you, Councilwoman Onuki, for being the first elected representative with a solid platform for the courage to say that short-term rentals threaten the fabric of our community and our local economy. May the four of you and the force of you fully convince the other three here of our shared mission, and that I believe then all will be well. Congratulations to you, Mayor Annie Brown. My Facebook memories remind me, I'm sure you see them, that you and I were once very good friends.
I'm still your friend.
I recall that you were once a progressive. I remember that when you were on school board and were, I thought, wrongly attacked for being a, quote, micromanager. I thought you were fiscally responsible to taxpayers and that you brought guidance and toughness to hired administrators. I expect that of you again. Don't disappoint us, please. I was one of your strongest supporters in your first regional campaign. I supported it with my money and my time and my enthusiasm. Since then, your regional campaigns, residents have consistently asked you to speak up for neighborhoods and against short-term rentals. You wouldn't, you didn't, you haven't since, and you lost 2 regional campaigns in the popular vote of South Haven in both those campaigns because of avoidance of this #1 community issue. Please now open your heart and open your eyes to what residents need and want in our community. I hope the courageous, progressive woman I used to know is still in there. Create your legacy starting now by choosing wisely. Thank you all for your service. I don't mean to rush out, but I am terrified of COVID, and I'll watch you all on television. Thank you all for your service.
Thank you. Any more public comments? How are you, Patty?
I'm fine.
Happy
thank
New
you.
Year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
My name is Patricia Shepard, and I own and live at 214 Superior Street. My husband and I worked in Illinois. In 1996, we built a summer cottage in Palisades Park because we loved Southwest Michigan. When we retired, we chose to move to South Haven and live in a town that we love. We naively thought we were going to spend our well-earned retirement in a safe, quiet neighborhood surrounded by a community of neighbors. Instead, on our block alone, 7 of the 10 houses, that's 70%, 70%, not 25%, are STRs. Our neighborhood is packed with houses full of a rotating gang of transients who threaten the way of life that we have worked hard to achieve and hope to enjoy. Do we feel safe? No. Do we have a sense of community? No. STRs are denying us the freedom and ability to enjoy our home and neighborhood in peace and safety. I'm not fundamentally opposed to short-term rentals. Living in a tourist town, one accepts that tourists will come needing accommodation. But here are some problems. Many STR owners are out-of-town, out-of-state investors who have no stake in South Haven other than profit. They are destroying the housing market by inflating home prices and strip mining our neighborhoods. The number of families in our neighborhoods is shrinking because ST owners push out potential local buyers. Empty houses don't make a great community. We need children in our schools and families in our churches. Short-term renters bring noise, overcrowding, congestion, traffic, nuisance, and public safety issues, and numerous violations. STRs disturb life in our quiet residential neighborhoods. I cannot go for my daily walk without being confronted by a car blocking the sidewalk. Where is my peaceful neighborhood? Where is the quality of my daily life? STR investors displace residents and increase rental and housing prices. Jobs can't be done because there's nowhere to live. Where is your sensible housing policy? How do you see the future of our neighborhoods? Do you see residential neighborhoods full of families or motels, empty houses, overflowing with transients part of the year? STRs are motels with no on-site management. They are commercial businesses incompatible with residential neighborhoods. It's like having a combination of Animal House and Motel 6 next door. The Michigan Court of Appeals affirmed that short-term rentals are a commercial use of property. Why are you permitting STRs in residential neighborhoods? STR owners seek to maximize profit by maximizing the sleeping capacity of a house. Let me give you an example.
1 minute.
456 Maple Street has 7. That's 7 bedrooms and 6 baths. How many transients do you think they're going to cram into this house week after week? Would you want to live next door to this house? This motel? Why would you permit houses with 7 bedrooms in modest residential neighborhoods where the average is 3 to 4 bedrooms? Finally, South Haven needs to adopt common sense provisions that protect permanent residents. Bring back peaceful residential neighborhoods. Shift your focus away from investor developers and back to growing family-oriented neighborhoods.
Your time is up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, you might want to ensure that the public comment being received at this portion of the agenda is related to items on the agenda. There is
Oh.
a public portion, there is a public comment portion at the end of the agenda for items not on the agenda.
Thank you. Public comments for now are items on the agenda. Any other comments? Moving on.
Now we need to vote on the consent.
Now we are voting on the consent agenda items A through B and D through F.
Well, it looks like because of the motion made by Councilmember Hosley, it's now A through F, with the one item being exempted out, that's now 8A. So you were fine to go through A through F, noting that there has been one portion pulled out.
Okay.
And then,
And the portion pulled out is
7C with respect to appointment I.
Okay. The motion is to approve the consent agendas A, B, D, E, F. Is there a motion?
I'll second it.
wait,
I'll make a motion.
wait. We never voted on the first 2 motions. I made the motion, help me out. I made the motion to approve the agenda, consent agenda.
No, you made the motion to approve the agenda,
Okay,
and then I made the motion to amend the agenda.
okay.
So we don't yet have a motion to approve the consent agenda, which I will make. I move to approve the consent agenda as amended, which will include items A, B, C.
B.
I want to get my
Not C. Could be C, but.
C,
yeah.
A through H, and D, E, and F, where item 7CI has been removed.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the consent agenda A through F. Roll call?
Arnold.
Yes.
Hosley.
Yes?
Onuki.
Yes.
Reeser.
Yes.
Sleeper.
Yes.
Wilkins.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes. The motion passes. Moving on to new business, the city council will be asked to select a mayor pro tem.
I make a motion to nominate Joe Reeser as mayor pro tem.
Second?
Any other nominations?
I make a motion to nominate Jeff Arnold as mayor pro tem.
Is there a second? I second.
Point of order, can a mayor second a motion?
I don't think we've had that. I think it'd be better if there was a second who was not the mayor. Is there any other council member who would support that?
I'll second.
Point of order, can a person who's nominated second?
I think he can.
I don't see why not.
I believe he can.
I mean, it's not like there's not an extra compensation for it, so it's not, there's not, I guess, a barrier as to why they couldn't second.
Okay. We'll start with the motion to nominate Jeff Arnold as the mayor pro tem. All in favor, say aye. Oh, yep, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Do we not, I get to discuss?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Open for discussion.
Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say, Jeff, I think you have done an awesome job, and I appreciate you. I would also like to see Joe do it because we line up on so many different issues. That's all I wanted to say.
And I would like, in further support of my motion, I have known Joe. Joe and I have not always agreed, but Joe and I have always been able to have frank discussions, and I know he reaches across differing opinions to seek reasonable solutions, and that is why I nominated him.
I selected, or I made a motion for Jeff Arnold because he's done a very good job as mayor pro tem, and he's got the most experience of anyone on city council, being on city council, so.
Any other discussion?
I agree with Wendy. I think Jeff's done a fine job being the pro tem, but I think it would be nice to try someone else new. I think Joe would bring something different to the table.
Do we need a roll call?
It would probably be best, that way you can have an accurate count.
Okay, the motion is to select Jeff Arnold as mayor pro tem.
Okay, Hasley,
No.
Onuki,
No.
Reeser,
No.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Wilkins,
No.
Arnold,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Motion fails.
Okay, the motion is to appoint Joe Reeser as mayor pro tem. Any discussion?
Sorry, just getting the order right. Okay, Onuki
Yes.
and Reeser,
Yes.
Sleeper,
No.
Wilkins,
Yes.
Arnold,
No.
Hasley,
Yes.
and Brown.
No.
And that is a 1, 2, 3, 4, motion carries. Wait, I'm sorry, motion fails. I'm so sorry.
No.
What?
Carried,
Oh,
yeah.
wait,
Motion
No.
carries.
I got myself confused. I apologize. I have 4 yeses and 3 nos. Motion carries.
Yes.
Thank you. Next, the city council will be asked to consider the approval of the following special event.
Agenda item 8A,
Oh, yep. The item we pulled
the
out.
amended.
Oh, thank you.
And so for clarity, the motion that I read, and I will reread it for everyone's benefit, is that agenda item 8A read, the city council would be asked to select a city council member to be the ex officio member of the city's planning commission for a term equal to that city council member's remaining term, and for a resolution to be presented consistent with the selection.
So we need a motion
Okay.
for
So-
someone's.
And I'll just be clear, when I bring the resolution back, I will be having that run by the city's attorney, so just making sure that the language is correct. So whatever you're doing tonight, hopefully that comports with what the attorney is going to be asking for in the resolution. So we may have to be doing this twice.
And we did vote on, the vote we made included item C.
I'm sorry,
Included what?
When we voted on the consent agenda.
7C, it was for items A through H.
Okay,
Right.
thank you. Okay, so we're moving on for now?
No, there's a motion for item 8A, which was for the Planning Commission appointment. Just to be clear, a resolution would have to be brought back. So like I said, you'll be doing this twice. You're going to do this once right now, and then you're going to be bringing it back because we'll have then a resolution number and, of course, the resolution language to consider.
Right.
So
There's
I'm
no-
not sure there's any action to be taken for item 8A, since we're going to be having it brought before the city council sometime in the future, and it will include a resolution.
That's correct.
So I mean, this could be just a discussion item in my mind.
Thank you.
And Kate, this came to light, I think Councilperson Hosley was doing her homework and noticed that it had been missed in the past, but as you said, we've been doing this for over 20 years.
That's correct.
And that has maybe become the new past practice. And so in light of that kind of confusion, you're seeking an opinion from legal.
Yep, we've already talked, I've already been in discussion with the city's attorney. He says what we've been doing is fine. However, with the one exception of the planning commission appointment, we do need a resolution. So that will be prepared, be prepared at the 1/16 agenda
Okay.
for that meeting date.
And so are we doing discussion, because the agenda item was to select the member that would then be followed up with a resolution? Or does this need to be tabled or postponed?
The resolution is going to be on the next meeting's agenda.
And for clarity, also, the wording of the ordinance is that the city council selects it.
Well, in speaking with the attorney, he said that how the city has been doing it is perfectly fine because it is subject to the confirmation of the city council. So it can be a mayor's recommendation, but it is ultimately confirmation by the city council. So should the council want to change that appointment, they can do so at that time.
Thank you.
Do you have a motion?
I'll make a motion. I move to nominate Mary for selection of ex officio city council member to the City Planning Commission for her remaining term of Ward 3 City Council person, and a resolution to be presented consistent with the selection.
Can you read that again?
Sure. My pleasure. I move to nominate Mary Hosley for selection of ex officio city council member to the City Planning Commission for her remaining term of Ward 3 City Council person, and a resolution to be presented consistent with the selection.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, could we have a roll call, please?
Reeser,
Yes.
Sleeper,
No.
Wilkins,
Yes.
Arnold,
No.
Hosley,
Yes.
Onuki,
Yes.
and Brown.
No.
Okay, we have 1, 2, 4 yeses and 3 noes. Motion carries.
So what I'll do is I'll make that resolution, I'll bring that forward, and until that resolution is brought forward, there really is no appointment.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, just for clarification, there's a planning commission meeting.
You'll be going to it, George.
Thursday, okay.
Okay, moving on. Confirming mayoral appointments.
Round
A,
of 9, item 9.
The appointments were in the consent agenda.
Yep.
okay.
So round 2, new business, number 9, special events.
Number 9, thank you. The city council will be asked to consider the approval of the following special event applications. Special event 2024-01, Steel Headers Pro-Am Tournament 2024 to occur May 17th through the 19th, 2024, at the Southside Municipal Marina in Black River Park.
I'll make a motion to approve special event 2024-01 Steelheader Pro-Am Tournament 2024 to occur May 17th through the 19th, 2024 at the Southside Municipal Marina and Black River Park.
Second.
Discussion.
Well, usually we get feedback from you.
That's right.
Oh, go ahead.
If that's good. So this is a three-day fishing tournament with a weigh-in and prize ceremony. We did for a time move the ceremony and the bulk of the tournament down to Black River Park. However, they have requested to come back to the Southside Marina where they have had successfully done a number of years there. The special event application is in your packet. We've put a lot of information in there, such as the command post, the use of feather flags along Water Street and the head dock. And they will be also using Black River Park to be cleaning the majority of the fish that will be used to process for local nonprofits. I do have Captain Chad Bard here if council has any further questions.
Any other questions?
It's a good event, and they always donate the fish to the
Yes.
fish boil. And yeah.
I actually just have one comment. I think that last year they said that the fish cleaning station in that whole area hadn't been quite cleaned up yet.
I'm happy to
it.
work on that. I do know that it does see a lot of use that springtime. There is a lot of fishermen coming in. There are 8 cleaning stations at that fish cleaning station. Moreover, there's also a small fish descaler. So it gets a lot of use, specifically around mid-March mid-May when the steelheader are running. So we will ensure, we know that event is taking place. We'll make sure that is ready to go for that event.
Okay, awesome.
I'd like to thank the Steelheaders for all their contributions to our community, and thank you for the recent donation to the Boy Scout troop, and thanks for the sailing trip for the veterans every year. So we appreciate the Steelheaders. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor of the special event 2024-01 Steelheaders Pro-Am Tournament to occur on May 17th through the 19th, 2024 at the Southside Municipal Marina in Black River Park? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. The next special event is 2024-02, the Queen's Cup, to be held June 28th through the 29th, 2024 at the South Haven Yacht Club.
I'll make a motion to approve special event 2024-02 Queen's Cup to be held June 28th through the 29th, 2024 at the South Haven Yacht Club.
Second.
City Manager?
Well, this is an exciting event that we're happy to see come back. If you remember, if you've been around this town that long, we've had the Queen's Cup here in 12, 15, and 17, and maybe, was it 19? Nope, not 19, but we've had them 3 prior years. Griffin Graham, our harbor master, has been working with the Queen's Cup with South Haven Yacht Club and is here to kind of answer any questions tonight. I know he's put a lot of time and effort into this event. Griffin, if you'd like to summarize your actions here.
Sure, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I don't have a whole lot more to add, but I'd be happy to answer any questions. We also do have a representative from the Yacht Club here this evening in case there are any questions specifically for them. But as the city manager mentioned, this is an event that's been successfully hosted in town several other times. The proposal being brought before you, or the application being brought before you is very consistent with those successful events. The one thing I do want to highlight that is of note is not only is council being asked to approve the special event application, but also a proposed license agreement for the exclusive use of the South Municipal Marina during the event. This allows city staff to reserve the entire marina, make that available for the boats coming in to stay the night or stay for the weekend during the race. With that, the Yacht Club does pay a license fee to offset the costs of staffing and not renting boats, slips out for that weekend. So that's another piece included in this that I guess is not normal to many of our special events, but it is consistent with how we've successfully hosted this event in the past. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions?
I have a couple of questions. I sent them in ahead of time. I'm just going to try and highlight some of them. So with the exclusive use, I know that there are other licenses for the use of the Southside Marina. Are there alternative locations for those license holders?
Yep, so
during
the
this
license
event?
that we have for the two other commercial vessels at South Marina, there is provisions in those license agreements that they can be moved during special events, and our team would be working with them if they need to be moved to work with them to find another location temporarily.
Excellent. And for the cost, for the $5,000, how was that amount identified?
It was identified by taking the revenue that the city of South Haven would bring from a full use of the marina for 2 nights and then rounded down.
Got it. And the last one, so I know the last event was in 2017, pre-COVID, pre-hiring issues, and the license agreement is mandating 4 people from midnight until noon, I believe, on June 29th, and 2 people all the other times. Is there any concern about that number, being able to properly staff it as the contract requires, and negative impact on our other marinas that we staff?
No, there's not concerns. If you look in the language in the agreement, it's not necessarily a guarantee of that many. It's essentially setting a limit. It's more of a not to exceed. But I can tell you that we don't typically have staffing issues at the marinas in June and July. We tend to struggle a little bit more when you get towards the end of August or September when our high school and college students start going back to school, but I don't foresee there being any staffing issues. And I can also tell you, for an event like this, if for whatever reason we're not able to staff, we've got full-time professional staff, including myself as the harbor master, the marina manager, city manager who's worked these events before. We will make sure there's enough personnel to have a successful event.
Excellent. Thank you.
I can add, I was on the Harbor Commission back in 12 when the first Queen's Cup came, and the Yacht Club provides tons and tons of really great volunteers that help park boats and sometimes just control traffic because there's so many sailboats that come in. So
Absolutely.
yes, the Yacht Club's a huge partner in this, and they do a great job.
It is, and that's a great point. We're very fortunate to have a club that this will be the 4th time they've been selected to host again, so they have a lot of institutional knowledge within their organization as well. So again, reminders for everyone, these special events, it's still the Yacht Club's event. Obviously, the city of South Haven is going to do what it can to be supportive and take care of some of these things like license agreements to make sure we can provide a base level of staffing, provide the facilities, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, it is the Yacht Club's responsibility to run their event.
It's not a sailboat guy, but it is a cool event to see because you race all these races and you get these flags, and I think they call them brag flags, and so then they run them up over their sailboats, and so when they come in the harbors, it's quite a spectacle. So it's a real fun event for us land lovers too.
I'm excited. It's going to be a great event, and thank you for all your work on this. Any other comments? Okay, all in favor of special event 2024-02, the Queen's Cup, to be held June 28th through the 29th, 2024 at the South Haven Yacht Club? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Next, the City Council will be asked to consider approval of the following resolutions to update the poverty tax exemption, special assessments, poverty tax exemption, and the updated poverty guidelines for 2024. The first resolution, 2024, a resolution updating the state-required poverty level income standards for special assessments. Is there a motion to support this?
I'll make a motion just for Resolution 2024-01, a resolution updating state-required poverty-level income standards for special assessments.
I'll second.
Kate?
Thank you. So the poverty tax exemption resolution and the guidelines are to provide relief for qualified homeowners who are truly in need from the payment of special assessment and for property tax. We're talking about special assessment. For special assessment installations related to certain water and sewer improvements. The recommendation is to increase the poverty levels for South Haven income standards by 15%, including per the size of family for special assessment. What that does is it increases the amount of families that can take advantage of this poverty examples, poverty assessments, poverty guidelines, rather. So if we left it at the federal guidelines, people who are making that amount, I think is 15,400. If we kept it at the federal guidelines, 14,580 is the limit. So if you made $15,000, you could not take advantage of this. Now, by increasing it to 15%, a family unit of one can, if you make $16,000, you can take advantage of the poverty exemption.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
Thank you for that explanation. I had misunderstood how that was working out. Is 15 the maximum percent that it can be raised?
No, you can raise it, but then you have to look at what the impacts are. Moreover, you have to look at also who's taking advantage of it. I can tell you in the last 3 years, this has changed how we used to do it. Prior to 2020, the Board of Review could do a little bit of wiggle room. They could make some assessments, but starting in 2020, the state law became very rigid, so they must adhere to strict guidelines. In 2021, nine people applied, but 2 were denied. In 22, 7 people applied and 2 were denied. And in last year, 5 people applied and 1 was denied. So they have to go through a standard. They have to provide documents. So this can be set higher, but then you have to offset that with your assessment. So you have to figure out how much more is going to be taken off and things like that. So this is what the assessor is recommending based on what we're seeing. Now, if there's changes to that, we can definitely bring that back, or if council would like to see an analysis, I'm sure we can provide that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, the motion is to pass the resolution updating the state-required poverty level income standards for special assessments. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Thank you. The next resolution, 2024-02, a resolution updating state-required poverty level income standards for property tax exemptions.
I make a motion to pass in support of Resolution 2024-02, a resolution updating the state-required poverty level income standards for property tax exemptions.
Second.
City Manager?
Similar to what we just talked about with special assessment, this sets it for the property tax exemption, so this sets it for the same level and for the same amounts.
Thank you. Any questions?
Kate, did the same amount of people apply for this one, or do we have more people?
I'm sorry, those numbers are for anyone who applied for any exemption.
Okay.
And if you do apply for the poverty tax exemption for the property, it would be done for the special assessment. Not every property carries a special assessment, but this is just routine business to make sure that if you are setting them for the poverty level, that you are also setting them for the special assessment, because there are some parcels that still carry special assessments.
Got it. Thanks.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Next, the City Council will be asked to consider an approval of Resolution 2024-03, a resolution appointing a Board of Reviewing, establishing a rate of compensation, and setting a meeting schedule for tax year 2024. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve Resolution 2024-03, a resolution appointing a Board of Reviewing, establishing a rate of compensation, and setting a meeting schedule for tax year 2024.
Second.
Did you second?
Yeah.
Thank you. City Manager?
Yep, this is our standard kind of assessing business to be done at the beginning of the year. This sets out the schedule. There are 3 times during the year that anyone can apply or to challenge an assessment. Or if you are applying for one of the poverty exemptions, you can apply at one of these. So it's March, July, and December.
Thank you. Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Next, the city council will be asked to approve a proposed workshop schedule, training, housing, priority setting, and on the budget.
I make a motion to approve the proposed workshop schedule for training, housing, priority setting, and budget.
Second.
Well, thank you. So this is a pretty aggressive workshop schedule. I think it exceeds what most people have done in their previous years here. We do know that it always benefits this new council that is coming in to do some training with board dynamics. So we have enlisted the Michigan Municipal League to come here in a two-part training session. We broke that up because the initial request for up to 8-hour one training was a bit too much. So we have January 8th. There was a typo in there. It should say Tuesday, January 16th. That is, we have parliamentary procedure training that would precede the regular meeting at 5 p.m. We also have a second part with the MML board training. We do have a housing workshop with Ryan Kilpatrick, as we do have some new members on the city council, and we do have the Overton parcel. It would be good to reconvene with our housing consultant, see what is out there, and then really dial into what the council would like to see with the Overton parcel, and really dial into the core, I guess, the must-haves council would have, and figure out a way forward with that parcel. We also have priority setting and strategic planning on March 11th. That would be with former city manager Alan Vandenberg. He happens to be the Kent County administrator. I ran into him at one of the Michigan Municipal Executive meetings last summer, and he offered to come here and help us with that priority setting and strategic planning session. Then we go into our budgeting workshops. We have a capital improvement workshop on March 25th. And then we have budget workshops 1 and 2 for April 8th and the 15th. If you remember, our city council schedule in April is condensed due to spring break. So we meet the second Tuesday and the second Monday and the third Monday instead of our first and third. And thus when we also have our budget workshops. So this is a pretty aggressive schedule, but as you remember, part of our budget timeline, we have to approve our budget at the first meeting in June, so that's why we're kind of hitting some of those dates.
Thank you. It's a busy schedule, but we are ready to get to work.
It is, and if you've noticed, I've tried to keep these on your typical meeting dates, which is Monday, which I think is easier for many of you to, 'cause like many people, you have many arrangements on different days, so Mondays, I think, are typically reserved for city council, so.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Okay, any other questions?
I have a clarification, please. I would like clarification on whether beach safety is considered a priority or whether it's considered a standard matter. We do have our full-time beach safety beach safety person, and Matt Day. And I know that last year, the beach program had to be approved in March. And that was time of the essence. And so if it's going to be part of the priority setting with that on March 11th, I see some problems. And also I just see problems if we wanted to do anything for this summer, having the priority meeting set in March would frustrate getting that done. Or will the council be addressing beach safety separately like they did last year with the beach safety program in March?
At the meeting on priorities, we will get together to listen to what everybody's priorities are. So that's the date we have set. And that gives us a great opportunity for all of us to get together and discuss what the priorities are and how the majority of us feel.
And so you are including beach safety as a
If that is a priority for city council, it will be discussed. Thank you.
Thank you.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. It is now time for citizens in the audience to discuss items not on the agenda. And you have up to 5 minutes. He's leaving. Thank you.
Heather Walsh Johnson, 931 South Haven Place. I'd like to address the matter of significant importance, the reintroduction of lifeguards at South Haven beaches. Leading up to the elections, there was unanimous support among candidates for a lifeguarding program, reflecting a sentiment echoed by numerous residents consistently advocating for such a reinstatement. When we considered our priorities, the safety and well-being of our community undoubtedly takes precedence. The initiative has not been a passing concern, but rather a sustained and fervent desire from our residents. In response to this pressing need, a group of volunteers well-versed in beach safety is ready to contribute. However, the prolonged delay until March for a priority meeting raises concerns about how our ability to implement a lifeguard program in time for the approaching summer season. The situation calls for immediate action to address the imperative safety needs of our beachgoers. As an advocate for practical involvement, I believe that the present circumstances do not necessitate additional committees for deliberation. It's time to move beyond deliberation to take concrete steps towards implementation, acknowledging the urgency of the matter. Our pool of volunteers is robust, including individuals prepared to play pivotal roles in executing this initiative. Notably, Dave Benjamin and Bob Pratt from the Great Lakes Surf Rescue Project, with extensive first responder and lifeguard experience, have generously offered to reside in South Haven for a summer to assist in establishing a sustainable long-term lifeguard program. Nancy Nat has generously offered her residents to further facilitate bringing Dave and Bob's expertise directly to our beaches. Additionally, Jeff Lohman has offered the use of the Emily, an unmanned surface vehicle free of charge contingent upon the implementation of lifeguards. Dr. Greg Field, with a PhD in water safety, co-founder and president of the ARC Project, has expressed willingness to serve as a consultant, ensuring a comprehensive and evidence-based approach through data collection and analysis. Financial viability is integral to this proposal, and we have received a detailed financial structure from Cam Dougherty and Sean Russell. This information has been shared transparently with Mayor Brown and all members of council, and as well as some of the city staff. South Haven has the opportunity to lead open water drowning prevention efforts in Michigan. Years of successful lifeguarding program here provide tangible evidence of this efficacy, making it a compelling initiative for our community. Our volunteers are not only passionately committed, but also professionals like Dave Benjamin, Bob Pratt, Jeff Lohman, and Dr. Greg Field. Their commitment underscores the community's dedication to a successful lifeguarding program. Transparency remains a focal point, with Cam Dougherty and Sean Russell's publicly sharing a comprehensive financial structure demonstrating readiness for immediate implementation. The success of previous lifeguard programs in South Haven offers tangible evidence of their positive impact on community safety, affirming the merit of their reinstatement. South Haven can stand at the forefront of open water drowning prevention efforts in Michigan, setting a precedent for other communities. Given the urgency and widespread community support for this initiative, I propose expediting a vote as an agenda item preceding the scheduled March priority meeting. Timely action is crucial to ensure the presence of lifeguards on South Haven beaches by the summer of 2024, fortifying the safety of both residents and visitors. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you for everything you've done. We appreciate you. Any other comments? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you. My name is Mike Campbell. I live at 216 Erie. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all of the new council members and wish you all the best of success in working together to come up with solutions. In doing so, I want to reference a comment the mayor made during her campaign, where she says that she demands excellence. Excellence is always in the eye of the beholder, and certainly depends on actions, but it is always something to definitely aspire to. And I think this body and all of the boards and commissions can probably do more to actually achieve the level of excellence. Hopefully that's within the bar of the mayor. As an individual, I have observed the boards and commissions and have my own suggestions on what you might think and consider as you contemplate being more excellent in what you do. And these are things that I have learned from leaders in businesses where I have worked, as well as in my own position as leaders in businesses I had. So I just wanted to share for the next a couple of minutes, 10 short items for you to think about. First of all, this council is the one and only legislative and governing body of South Haven. No one else. So all the other boards, commissions, and staff basically are there to support you, provide advice, and provide guidance. So the idea here is assert your authority as the one body. If you don't assert it, it will be ceded, and there's always going to be somebody that is waiting to take over that authority. So that's number one. Number two, think outside the box. While it's nice to know that other communities or what other communities are doing about something, be innovative in your solutions for South Haven. Many people have said South Haven is unique, so your solution should be innovative and unique as well. Don't do something just because they have it or they've already done it in St. Joe or Holland. That's the lesson there. Act more expeditiously is the third item. Too many agenda items in recent years have taken or are taking 6, 12, or even up to 18 months to resolve because no one wants to make a decision. Sometimes you have to make hard decisions. Just do it. Move faster, and if you break something, fix it. Fourth, expect everyone who is advising you, these boards, commissions, and staff, to provide all the data you need when you need it so that you and the public are adequately prepared for all meetings. Fifth, and I saw some of this tonight, actually discuss the items on the agenda during your open session. I can't tell you how many meetings I have sat through in the last couple of years where the public actually said more than the council members combined during a meeting. And I didn't even have to count words. It needs to be the other way around, and if it is, then maybe fewer public comments will actually be needed. 6, be courageous and state your position on each agenda item, and with the knowledge of the issue being discussed, be able and willing to say how you feel, why you feel the way you do. Be leaders. 7, work together as a team to arrive at solutions. Compromise where possible. 8, listen to what the residents say. The residents, i.e., the rest of us, who voted you into your roles, expect you to think about us when you vote. It's not just about what's good for certain factions or special interests. It's also and should always be about what's good for everyone in the community. 9, make responsible choices, taking into account not just what is a good decision for the short term, but how your decision will affect the future. Be visionary, not a Band-Aid. And 10, expect the same excellence from all the boards and commissions and staff that serve this council. Remember, you're only as good as the weakest link among you. Thank you.
Thank you. All excellent points. Any other comments? Microphone.
We can't hear you. Yeah,
I live at
we can hear you, but-
6133 Oak Park Trail in Hazlet, Michigan. I'm the Director of Education for the Great Lakes Surf Rescue Project. I know some of you, I've talked to most of you in the past. First of all, let me congratulate you on the newly elected people. And I want to echo some of the sentiment that Heather talked about in the timeliness of if we're going to bring lifeguards to the beaches this year, we are already behind the 8 ball. The city of Chicago has a program where they have already hired cadets. They're not yet trained, they're not yet qualified to be lifeguards, but the hope is that in bringing them in, and they have more than 100, that they are paying to be put in the cadet program, and they are taking swimming lessons, and they are being mentored by lifeguards already in Chicago. I believe they're being paid $17 an hour in hopes that they will fill the lifeguard stands in the city of Chicago. You all should have received an email from me. If you did not, please let me know. And a little bit of a glitch with, I sent it to the council mailbox, but apparently, because you weren't sworn in yet, it didn't get to some of you. So we would love to be a resource for you. We have lots of contacts all over the world with people who are facing the same kinds of issues that you are facing, trying to retain and train lifeguards. Just so you know, there were a lot of information in the email that I sent you, but there's a great deal more information that you really need to know. For example, there are only 2 agencies in the United States that train lifeguards to work at surf beaches: the International Surf Lifesaving Association and the U.S. Lifesaving Association. If you are going to have those entities come and train your people, you need to get on a schedule several months ago. If you put this off until March, it's very likely that they will not be trained adequately. I brought all of you a gift. This is an excellent book. It's called One Guard Out by Ed Vidroska. It is about Sonoma County in California, where they were told it was too dangerous, there was too much liability, there was no funding to provide lifeguards there at a beach that was called the most dangerous coastline in the United States. Many of you know that 2 years ago, the media claimed that South Haven was the most deadly beach in Lake Michigan. So what they did was a lot of forward-thinking people created a program custom designed for this coast, and they have saved dozens and dozens and dozens of lives, and one of the most successful lifeguard programs in the entire country. So in addition to being a great resource, it's actually a really, really fantastic read. It really is a good book, so I have a copy for each of you. I wish you well. We stand ready. Like I said, she mentioned Dr. Greg Field, who lives in Holland, just got his PhD doing work about water safety education in the state of Michigan. So there are lots and lots of people willing and able to help you. Please, please, please call on them. Thank you. Can we leave these here? You want me to?
You can leave them there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the books, and thank you for being here, and we appreciate your wisdom, so thank you so much. Any other comments?
Wilkins, 811 Indiana Street. I want to congratulate Mary and our new mayor, Annie Brown. Like a runner, getting out the blocks. It's really difficult just getting started, but I know you'll write your own legacy. You'll do a great job.
Thank you.
My comments comes from just seeing the hardships and what people are going through and what short-term rentals impact to others are a little different to some. In our area, it may come across a little different than how it impacts others, but those are the hardships that I hear the most. And so as the council is aware, there has been many discussions over the last 3 to 4 years concerning the lack of affordable housing and the impact that short-term rentals have had on the available housing market in South Haven. Unfortunately, unlike other lakeshore municipalities, South Haven, in my humble opinion, now this is just my humble opinion, have either failed to recognize or just simply chose to ignore the overall impact that short-term rentals have had on our neighborhoods as a whole. And I'm speaking particularly on tonight, especially for those of color. Those of color. And understanding, when I say that, I understand that it's impacting a lot of people. But I've lived here in South Haven for over 58 years. And what made South Haven so wonderful to me coming up, it was the diversity. You had all kind of diversity. Diversities in the school, in our neighborhoods. That made South Haven special. But we have lost and continue to lose our diversity. When I was in high school, the African-American population was around 26%. I believe we're under 6% now, and that number is steadily dropping. In my opinion, the former city council, along with guidance from the planning commission, both neglected to consider the impact on racial equity when writing and approving ordinances and policies to regulate short-term rentals in our community. With the current regulation, it is clear to me that both boards failed to take into consideration, number one, the number of people of color who at the start of the short-term rental business model represented a big percentage of renters in South Haven, who relied on the availability of homes used for year-round rentals. And number two, as a result of allowing so many of those homes to be bought and turned into short-term rentals in our cities, it has caused a lack of year-round rentals, which in turn has created a huge racial disparity, gentrification, and a lack of diversity in South Haven. I ask this board, this newly elected board, to take in consideration the impact on racial disparity, gentrification, and the lack of diversity when making future decisions on how to regulate short-term rentals going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Aaron Cobb, 914 Center Street. And I just have a quick comment about short-term rental. I heard the lady that earlier talking about short-term rental, 7-bedroom houses. She said was like a business, like hotel, and it been many permits given for business short-term rental. I am in a commercial place, and I can't get a business permit, and I'm in a commercial with a small short-term rental, trying to do a small short-term rental, and it's hard for me to get a permit. And how can so many permits be given out in a residential for the build a 7-bedroom house and rent, and in a commercial, I can't get a short-term rental? That's all I want to think about.
Yep, thank you. Any other comments? If not, time for city manager's comments.
Well, thank you, Mayor, and welcome, new council. I do just really want to keep my comments brief. I did want to really give out a big shout out to our Public Works Department and our city's police department. This weekend, if you did have a chance to go down to the downtown area and the ice rink, a lot of good effort down there with the number of people who came out to the ball drop, New Year's Eve. Everything came off without a hitch, and I got to give a lot of kudos and a lot of support to our staff that really made a lot of that happen. So my deepest thanks to Public Works Department, the Parks Department, and our city's police department for making everything go safe and wonderful for not only New Year's Eve, but for the last couple weeks with the holidays. So thank you. Those are my comments.
And grateful to Shays for their help with the New Year's Eve celebration.
I should not have forgotten Shays, but absolutely part of Shays as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, city council comments? Mrs. Wilkins.
First, I want to say Happy New Year's to everyone. I am excited to work with our newly elected mayor and our new councilwoman, Mary Hosley, and I think everybody else is still the same. But I'm just excited. I'm just excited, for our new board and see what's, the new changes. And I think we're going to make some great strides and do some great things. I look forward to working. And thank you to everyone who came out.
Thank you. George.
I'd like to thank everyone that came today and expressed their comments to us. That really helps us. One thing I want to say is I'm a little disappointed in the selection of the representative from City Council to Planning Commission. I've worked hard on Planning Commission. I've gone through the Citizen Planner course. I've been on the project to recodify the zoning ordinance, and I was hoping to see that project shepherd through its final stages, and I just feel a little bit blindsided by the effort to remove me from Planning Commission. Those are my comments. Thank you.
Mr. Reeser.
This is what, the second day of the year, and all of us have New Year's resolutions. As I'm sitting here before all of you, one word keeps coming into my mind, and that's the word hope. I hope the new mix of city council persons, and I hope our new mayor, we all work together to make changes and become more resident-centric. Basically, that means we want to do more for all of you. We exist to serve you, and I hope we do a better job this year than ever before. I'm looking around, I saw the room was filled tonight. They had to bring chairs in. Another one of my hopes is that we continue to fill this room up and have more people involved. Nothing is worse than apathy, and I just hope that residents continue to get involved and feel they're being heard. I think if all of you feel you're being heard, you'll be more inclined to come. I'm also hoping that the residents that do come and speak this year, unlike many times last year, will be more respectful of the council, more respectful of Kate and her staff, and will also feel like they're being heard, because I know that's been a concern. So bottom line is, I hope we all work together, and together we make more things happen. We live in a wonderful city, and I think if we all work together, especially here in City Council, I think we can get a lot more done and make the residents in this town proud of us and the city. Thanks.
Mary.
Thank you. I also want to give a big shout out to the Herculean effort of the city staff, Shays Police Department, over the New Year's weekend. I was wondering, do we have our new DPW member here today?
Yes, we do. And in fact, that is one thing I did forget, is that Dana Bird, PE, has joined the city of South Haven. Dana, if you can just stand up. Thank you. So Dana has started with the city last week and is trying to get his legs under him. So he's been meeting with lots of staff members, taking tours. So Dana has I should say it's not his first full week because we're starting on a Tuesday, but he has had many meetings, and we're happy to see him here.
Thank you. And I just want to thank everyone who supported my election. I am looking forward to change. That's what I have heard when I was out knocking door to door, and my door is open. Please check out the city's website. My contact information will be there. If you have a concern, please reach out to me. If I don't get back from you, please reach out again. My phone has sometimes not always had voicemail appear automatically, has sometimes taken a second voicemail to make multiple voicemails appear. I look forward to working with everyone, moving things forward, and engaging residents. And I am very pleased to see all the turnout today. And thank you, and I hope to continue to see you here.
Wendy?
I just want to wish everyone a happy new year and thank the city for helping make it safe for everybody, hopefully. Thank you all for coming out and sharing your issues today. We already heard so many topics that are important to you, from lifeguards to short-term rentals, gentrification. And I hope that we keep that top of mind as we make some changes and just do our business from week to week. Thank you for sharing that. I really do appreciate hearing from you all. And then I just wanted to say to George and Jeff, I'm sorry if you do feel blindsided by how we voted today. I know it's hard for it not to feel personal, but it truly is not personal. I respect you both so much. I know you've done great things for the city. I just feel like with this change that we have on council, there's an opportunity for us to do more and really push forward for the residents in a positive way, not in any negative reflection on you both. So that's all I wanted to say.
Mr. Arnold.
Thank you. I just want to wish everyone a Happy New Year as well, and add my thanks to the hard work of the city, from the Parks Department, the DPW, Shays, and the police. The event, I've heard nothing but good things about the New Year's Eve event, and it just seems like it's getting better and better. The zip line was a late addition, and I hear people liked it. I was not brave enough to try that. It was, Wendy says it was scary. So yeah, there's that. And welcome to Dana. Hope you love it as much as we all do, being here. Trash cans with the holiday yesterday, it always kind of throws off. So remind people that, you will get a little grace. I did see some yard waste bins out, and that ended like a month ago. So anyone listening, yard waste that's on hold until spring. Yard waste. And finally, Wendy, thank you for the comment. I certainly am fine if Joe's the mayor pro tem. But when it comes to the commissions, we've always kind of gone to where we're our strongest, what best suits us. And George, as he said, does have that experience. And so that is a little surprising. But that's okay. The democracy is good. So we'll see. Those are my comments.
Thank you. Just a little housekeeping first. Mr. Reeser, your notes on the motion for Mary Hasley on Planning Commission, can you please give those to the city manager after the meeting so they're part of the minutes and the legal records? Thank you. Thank you, South Haven, and thank you to Mayor Scott Smith, who helped pave the way for me. I'm like a dwarf standing on the shoulders of giants. I've been raised up and taught by the power women of our city, Mayor Betty Davis, Mayor Dorothy Appleyard, and Mayor Mary Bookert, who is here with us tonight. Thank you for everything. I am lucky to have known them and worked with all of them during the past 35 years. As your new mayor, I am committed to creating a more welcoming community. During my campaign, I talked about using all 4 burners on the stove. Well, after listening to residents and business owners, I realized I may need to borrow the 6-top stove from Clementine's. On November 7th, you elected me to this position to push the council to work, and we will do just that by collaborating and cooperating. When we talk about being more welcoming, we have to consider several issues. First and foremost, affordable housing. We will work diligently to implement policies that encourage the development of affordable housing options for all income levels, ensuring that South Haven is a place that families of all backgrounds can call home. From cashier to CEO, from 18-year-olds bussing tables to retirees on fixed incomes. When we lift up people in need, we give them hope and optimism. And with optimism comes joy. While knocking on doors, I walked under a small but loud, bitter cloud of us versus them. I believe that affordable housing will improve our workforce, our community, and our attitude. Our team agrees that we need more good-paying jobs. Being able to pay the bills is the bedrock of a thriving community. I am dedicated to attracting and retaining businesses and industries that provide good-paying jobs, stimulate growth and opportunity for our residents. And I'm so excited that one of our local businesses will be announcing their expansion in February. Our council will explore every option to get anyone willing to work the best position with the pay they deserve. We will also seek reliable childcare so parents can go to work and employers can count on their workers being able to show up for work. For the next 2 years, you are going to hear me talk about mental health. Tomorrow, I will email the leaders of Bronson Healthcare and Corewell to ask them how they can improve mental health care services that our residents so desperately need. By reducing stigma and increasing accessibility to mental health resources, we create a compassionate community for all. Not one person should be turned away or have to travel out of state for mental health care. If you would like to collaborate with me or give input on this issue, call me. You are the heart and soul of South Haven, and your needs and concerns will be at the forefront of our administration. I will keep open lines of communication and transparency, actively seek input, and address issues to ensure that every resident feels heard, respected, and supported. All are welcome here. By focusing on affordable housing, job creation, and responsible development, we will forge a path to a brighter future for all who call South Haven home. Together, we can create a community that stands as a shining beacon that welcomes all people and guides us to unity and resilience. So let's greet the new year with strong values. Open your hearts to neighbors, whether they are tourists, renters, or lifelong residents. I love the city of South Haven, and I'm proud to work for you. Thank you.
You better hear what she's saying. In order to get me here tonight, 3 phone calls and a letter.
Thank you, Mayor Booker. If there's no further business, this meeting is adjourned.
Well, you need a
Oh,
motion.
Motion to adjourn?
oh, is there a motion to
I'll
adjourn?
make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Then all those in favor?
Do I say all in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good job.
Yeah.